Max's agonized whimpers echoed over the videocom as the Galactic Council torturer jabbed the electrified prod into the German shepherd's flesh again, Captain Gary Parker's hands clenching into fists as he watched, unable to reach through the screen and snap the torturer's neck. Parker's Ferengi friend Indus spoke, his bruised face and shaking voice hinting at his own torture. "They're giving Earth 48 hours to dismantle its fleet and hand over its weapons, or Max dies. Gary, I'm so sorry." The screen went black. Parker took a breath, quelling his rage. Acquiescing to terrorist demands would only lead to more threats, and the loss of humanity's defense against hostile aliens. No, it was time to remind the galaxy why you don't fuck with Earth. Parker opened a channel to EDSF High Command. "Admiral, I just received credible intel that the Council has abducted and tortured my dog Max. They're threatening to kill him if we don't surrender our fleet in 2 days. Sir, this is an act of war. I request authorization to mobilize the ancient fleet immediately. Let's show them what happens when they torture a human's best friend." There was a heavy pause. The ancient fleet was Earth's ace in the hole, advanced precursor warships that could outgun any opposition. Revealing them risked retaliation. But what choice did they have? "There's the only way," Parker pressed. "If we let them bully us like this, hostile aliens will just keep pushing us around and making demands. We need to send a strong message that humans don't get threatened, that we protect our own at any cost. Please, sir, give the order. For Max." "Godspeed, Captain," the Admiral said grimly. "Go unleash hell, bring our dog home." As the ancient fleet's crews scrambled with final preparations for their upcoming mission, Parker stepped into the advanced flagship's airlock. The sleek obsidian vessel's name, written on the hull in bold white letters, caught his eye. USS Retribution. How fitting. The airlock hissed shut behind him. Parker inhaled, savoring the pristine recycled air. He'd forgotten how the precursor ships even smelled cleaner than modern Earth vessels. "Welcome aboard, Captain Parker," a feminine voice said over the ship's intercom. "All systems are green. The fleet reports ready for immediate departure." "Thank you, Ava," Parker replied. He'd always found it easier to talk to AIs like people. "What's our ETA to the Council's capital?" "At maximum FTL velocity, approximately 6 hours. Parker nodded. Not much time. He made his way to the bridge, barely registering the surprised looks and salutes from the crew. They'd never expected to see the ancient fleet in action. As Parker entered the bridge, the low murmur of conversation died away. Every eye turned to him, waiting for orders. His XO, a grizzled veteran named Hawkins, stood at attention. Parker took a deep breath. "At ease," he began, his voice hard. "By now you all know our mission. The Galactic Council has abducted and tortured my dog, Max. They think they can bully Earth into submission." He paused, letting his words sink in. "They think wrong. We're going to show them what happens when you fuck with one of our own. But this isn't the start of a war. We go in quiet, rescue our dog, and leave. Let them wonder how we did it. Let them know not to cross us again." Grim nods all around. They understood. This was about sending a message, not starting a galactic conflict. "Ava, engage FTL drives." The ship hummed to life around them. Stars stretched into lines as they accelerated to faster-than-light speeds. Parker pulled up the mission briefing on his command console, studying the intelligence their spies had risked their lives to gather. The detention center where they were keeping Max was formidable, with state-of-the-art security and guards from some of the Council's most elite military species. But they weren't prepared for the technological tricks up the ancient fleet's sleeves. Quantum cloaking devices to render the rescue team invisible, high-yield EMP grenades to disable security systems, and a bleeding-edge AI hacking module to infiltrate the facility's network and open locked doors. Getting in would be simple. Getting out, that depended on how quickly they could grab Max and bug out before the Council's security could respond and lock the facility down. "Ava, inform the fleet. I want a detailed tactical plan for infiltration and extraction in 1 hour," Parker ordered. "We only get one shot at this." "Acknowledged, Captain." Parker leaned back in his seat, trying not to imagine what Max must be going through, alone and hurt in hostile hands. He had to stay focused. Failure was not an option. As the ancient fleet dropped out of FTL on the edge of the Council's home system, 6 hours later, Parker stood on the bridge in his black nanoweave armor, checking the charge on his particle rifle one last time. This was it. In a few minutes, they'd begin the most important stealth mission of their lives. "Infiltration team, sound off," Parker said into his comm. One by one, his hand-picked squad of Earth's finest Special Forces operators reported in. "Good to go." "Ready." "Let's bring our boy home." Parker smiled grimly. "Damn right we will." Third. Parker's particle rifle spat blue bursts of energy as he led the way through the facility's winding corridors, Max limping alongside them, Doc supporting the injured German shepherd. Glitch's fingers flew across his wrist-mounted holodisplay, lines of code scrolling past. "I'm in their system," Glitch reported. "Turrets rebooting now." Behind them, the staccato chatter of automatic weapons erupted as the reprogrammed turrets opened fire on the pursuing Ferengi. Alien screams echoed off the walls. "Good work, Glitch," Parker said, not slowing his pace. "Ace, take point. The shuttle should be just ahead." They rounded a corner and skidded to a halt. A dozen heavily armed Ferengi in black armor stood between them and the cloaked shuttle, pulse rifles aimed squarely at Parker's team. In their midst, a tall Ferengi with a jagged scar down his face held a plasma pistol to Indus's head. "Drop your weapons, humans," the scarred Ferengi snarled. "I am Commander Zaxxas. Surrender now, or I splatter this worm's brains across the floor." Indus's eyes met Parker's, fear and apology written in their depths. Parker's mind raced, desperately seeking a solution. They couldn't fight their way out, not with Indus as a hostage, but he couldn't abandon his friend either. An idea sparked in Parker's mind, a desperate, reckless gambit, but it was their only chance. "Ace," Parker murmured into his comm, trusting the quantum-encrypted channel to keep his words from Ferengi ears. "When I give the signal, take the team and get to the shuttle. Don't wait for me." "Captain?" Ace questioned, concern heavy in his voice. "That's an order, Lieutenant." Parker stepped forward, letting his rifle hang from its sling. He raised his hands in apparent surrender. "All right, Zaxxas," he called out. "You win. Just let my friend go." A cruel smile split Zaxxas' scarred face. "I don't think so, human. Drop your weapons, all of you, or—" Parker moved, a blur of speed and precision. His hand darted to his thigh, drawing a compact plasma pistol and firing in one smooth motion. The bolt caught Zaxxas in the shoulder, sending him stumbling back with a howl of pain. "Go now," Parker shouted. Ace was already moving, scooping up Max and sprinting for the shuttle, Doc and Glitch close on his heels. The Ferengi opened fire, plasma bolts scorching the air. Parker dove for cover, unleashing a hail of suppressing fire to buy his team time. He saw Ace and the others make it into the shuttle, plasma pinging off its armored hull as the ramp sealed shut. With a flare of engines, the shuttle lifted off, shimmering into invisibility as its cloak engaged. Parker allowed himself a moment of relief. Max was safe. His team was safe. Now he just had to survive long enough to save Indus and escape himself. "Ava, I need a diversion," Parker panted into his comm, ducking as plasma blasts chewed into the crate he sheltered behind. "Activate the fleet's recon drones. Authorization code Epsilon 69er. "Acknowledged, Captain," Ava replied, her calm voice a stark contrast to the chaos erupting around him. "Recon drones launching. ETA 90 seconds. Parker leaned out of cover, snapping off a series of shots that dropped 2 Ferengi soldiers. Zaxxas was back on his feet, murder in his eyes as he pressed a plasma rifle to Indus's temple. "Surrender, human," Zaxxas bellowed. "You're out of options." Parker just smiled. "I've always got options." On cue, a dozen small spherical drones shimmered into view, darting through the cavernous space like angry hornets. They wove between the startled Ferengi, electro-darts sparking from their chassis to drop the soldiers in twitching heaps. Parker burst from cover, sprinting straight at Zaxxas. The Ferengi snarled, shoving Indus aside to aim his rifle at Parker. A heartbeat before Zaxxas could fire, one of the recon drones slammed into him, electro-darts sinking into his flesh. Zaxxas convulsed, the rifle clattering from his grip. Parker didn't slow down. He scooped up the fallen rifle and smashed the butt of the weapon into Zaxxas's face. The Ferengi crumpled. "Parker," Indus cried out, relief and gratitude coloring his voice. "I knew you'd come for me." "I don't leave my friends behind," Parker said, pulling Indus to his feet. "Now let's get out of here before more of them show up." They ran, recon drones buzzing around them like a protective swarm. In the distance, the whomp of explosions signaled the charges Parker's team had set going off, erasing any evidence of their presence. "Ava, get a shuttle down here for extraction," Parker ordered. "It's time to rejoin the fleet." "Already en route, Captain. ETA 2 minutes. Parker allowed himself a tight smile as he and Indus raced through the collapsing facility. They weren't out of danger yet, but against all odds, they'd done the impossible. Max was safe. Indus was safe. Earth had shown the galaxy the consequences of threatening humanity. And Parker had sent a message no one would soon forget. Don't fuck with a human's best friend. As Parker's shuttle docked with the USS Retribution's airlock, he felt a wave of relief wash over him. Max was safe in the ship's medbay, and Indus stood beside him, shaken but alive. They'd done the impossible, striking a blow against the Galactic Council and rescuing one of their own. But as Parker stepped onto the bridge, Ava's voice cut through his thoughts. "Captain, sensors are detecting multiple FTL signatures dropping out of hyperspace. It's a massive fleet, sir. Galactic Council ships." Parker's blood ran cold. He'd expected retaliation, but not this soon. "On screen." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a sea of gleaming silver ships bristling with weapons. At their center, a massive dreadnought loomed, its hull emblazoned with the Council's crest. A hail pinged across the comm. Parker nodded to Ava, and the screen shifted to show a grizzled Ferengi face, cold eyes glaring from beneath a prominent brow. "This is Supreme Commander Zorg of the Galactic Council," the Ferengi growled. "Earth vessel, you are outnumbered and outgunned. Surrender immediately, or face annihilation." Parker's jaw tightened. He glanced at Indus, seeing his own grim determination mirrored in his friend's eyes. They both knew what was at stake. "This is Captain Gary Parker of Earth Defense Fleet," Parker replied, his voice steady. "We will not surrender. The Galactic Council has committed crimes against Earth, and we demand justice." Zorg barked a harsh laugh. "You demand nothing, human. You're just a primitive species playing with toys you don't understand. Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick." Indus stepped forward, his hands flying across the comm controls. "I don't think so," he said, his voice ringing with defiance. "People of the galaxy, hear me? I am Indus of the Ferengi. The Galactic Council is corrupt, rotten to its core. They torture prisoners, they silence dissent, they manipulate and control, but no more." Indus tapped a final key and the screen split, displaying a cascade of images and video. Ferengi soldiers torturing prisoners, council officials accepting bribes, secret documents detailing blackmail and assassinations. "These files are being broadcast on every frequency, to every corner of the galaxy," Indus declared. "See the truth of your leaders." Zorg's face contorted with rage. "You dare betray the Council? Betray your own people. You'll die for this, traitor." The Ferengi dreadnought's weapons powered up, a searing lance of plasma stabbing through the void toward the Retribution. But Parker was already in motion, ancient technology flaring to life as a shimmering energy shield enveloped the ship, absorbing the blast. "All ships engage," Parker roared. The space between the two fleets erupted into a maelstrom of weapons fire, plasma and lasers crisscrossing the void. The ancient fleet's superior technology was evident from the start, their quantum-phased cannons and singularity torpedoes tearing through the Council ship's shields like tissue paper. Parker directed the battle with calm precision, his years of tactical training guiding his hand. The Retribution danced through the Council's formation, its advanced engines allowing it to outmaneuver the lumbering Ferengi ships. But even as the ancient fleet pressed its advantage, Zorg's dreadnought hung back, a looming threat. Parker had a sinking feeling that the Ferengi commander had something else up his sleeve. His fears were confirmed a moment later when Ava's urgent voice filled the bridge. "Captain, the Ferengi dreadnought is powering up a massive energy weapon. Its signature matches— oh God, it's a planet killer. They're targeting Earth." Parker's blood turned to ice in his veins. The stakes had just been raised to the ultimate level. Earth, his home, everything he'd fought for and sworn to protect, was in the crosshairs. He stared at the tactical display, watching the dreadnought's energy readings climb higher and higher. They only had minutes, maybe less, before it fired. There was no time to evacuate, no time to mount a defense. Once that weapon discharged, Earth would burn. Unless— Parker closed his eyes for a moment, a plan crystallizing in his mind. It was desperate, reckless, almost certainly suicidal. But it was the only way. "Ace, you have the con," he said, rising from his chair. "Keep the Council fleet occupied. I'm taking a team to that dreadnought. We're going to take out that planet killer from the inside." Ace nodded grimly, understanding the gravity of the moment. "Aye, sir, give 'em hell." Parker strode from the bridge, already keying his comm. "Doc, Glitch, meet me in the armory. We're going on a one-way trip." As he armed himself, Parker's thoughts turned to Max, to Earth, to everything he loved. He knew the odds of surviving this mission were slim to none. But if this was to be his end, he would make it count. He would save his world or die trying. "Ava," he said, "prep a stealth shuttle. It's time to finish this." You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.